Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Johnita Stanton. We have Reginald Perryman and Shaka Williams. We are TSARE. This is a There's Something About Real Estate podcast where we talk all things real estate.
What's up?
What up, what up, what up?
We talking about
Jamartin Lawrence.
we talking about Detroit. Bagley.
Bagley. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the areas that, I'm just like, it's so funny. That's been the question. Who's paying that over there? Like, what? Why would someone buy that?
Look, matter of fact, while you saying that, I'm gonna pull up a comment on one of the listings I had that was an investor.
This where it came up from.
Bagley is, why they looking that up, like it's on fire, and it's on fire for good reason, because the houses have, a lot of them, so it's a mix of houses, but standard, they have really good square footage, good amenities, nice brick, some of the houses still have like all of the character, and it backs right up to University District. So if you can't afford over $350, then you're probably gonna come a little bit west and come into Bagley.
Yeah, so what happens is what people don't realize, like Detroit, I was telling Erica Williams this yesterday, that the Detroit, a lot of people from other states, it's so zip code based, and we're really neighborhood based. So you can have one zip code, several different neighborhoods, and you can have price ranges from $500,000 to $80,000 to $250,000, all in that same zip code, all within a half mile of each other. So Bagley is getting like the spillover from your Palmerwood University District. And as those prices increase, those people will say, okay, this house is 3,000 square feet, University District. The Bagley house is 2,600 square feet, but it's $100,000 cheaper. But then everybody starts doing that. And now the Bagley houses, they're 2,800 square feet. Now they're $100,000 more. And then that spills over to Fitzgerald and spills over from there.
Yeah, Mary Grove. But you know what else is also spilling over? The Ferndale Royal Oak. New homeowners as well. Well, no, not necessarily new homeowners, but people want to be in that area, and they're kind of looking at it like, well, shoot, it's going to cost me this same amount to live in Ferndale, but I can get another 1,500 square feet.
Right.
For that same dollar amount. So,
600, 700, 1,500.
About 1,500, because the Ferndale houses. So I had a couple come through one of the open houses. They're looking at 800 to 900 square foot houses in Ferndale, 2 bedrooms. Now they did make a point and say, well, technically that's all you really need too, though. But they said we're over here looking because you can get so much more. So like, yeah, if you're looking at 800 or 900 square foot houses, and the Bagley houses, are ranging from 1,200, but most of the time you're at like a 1,500 to 2,500 square foot in Bagley.
Yeah, I mean, the 2,500 square feet that's not the norm over there, though, right?
It just depends on the house. It's not the norm, because
because you have a large percentage of them that are over 2,400 square feet. And maybe like 30% or so. Yeah. But then the rest of them are still over 2,000 square feet.
Shit, no, they like right there. The ones I've been seeing.
So like the one Reggie just saw was 1,900 and something square feet. I just saw 2001 over on Santa Barbara. And then you got the other San Juan house, which was 1,780. The one that I listed on San Juan off Outer Drive, that one was almost 2,600 square feet.
Right.
So yeah.
All right. So when I listed this house, somebody had commented and was like, "Looks nice. What's the asking price?" I said $285. And he was like, they did a great job putting it together, but it seems like a reach. Bagley area is nice. There are some beautiful homes, but I don't see $285, right? So then when the house sold, we sold it. I posted it because it sold for cash for, what we sell that house for? Well, yeah,
285.
285 cash, and it was like when a person made that comment, I said this is why people are confused when they see properties in our tax sale, and it's like, oh, how did they lose the house for 8,000? It's worth 180
Mm-hmm.
because people are living there and they're looking like, y'all sold that house for what? They've been there 20 years and never thought to check what the property values are. So when they let the house go, they're still thinking about when they brought their house
Back in
20
the day.
years ago.
Yeah.
Well, it's only worth 25,000.
10 years
So-
ago.
Yeah, and it need a roof, and I owe
Yeah,
8,000.
it's been a long time now.
So if I gotta put 15 into it and pay the 8,000 in taxes, I might as well walk away.
Right.
And that's how you end up with properties like that. But people just are not paying attention to the market. And in all fairness, a lot of times the average homeowner, if you're not thinking about moving, the average homeowner have no reason to look at the market.
So I don't think
They
it's
should.
fairness. I think they should shut up. So then if you don't know what you're talking about, then
Right.
why are you on the post speaking?
Right.
I think that same person or somebody else was like, because there was a few different posts. Even on one of ours, somebody said something like, but on yours, somebody said like, he made a negative like, this is the problem with those areas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we doing something bad by selling the houses for what the market is buying them at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like those are the people that, with that logic, so we don't want to use the gentrification, right? But that's
Right.
kind of what it is, right? Because like what Janita said, so the individuals coming from the suburbs, coming
Right.
into the city are saying, you know what, that's great. That's a house with great character, good square footage, close proximity to downtown
Right.
and university district and all those things. And they're willing to pay that dollar amount. And now this was our city, right?
Right.
Or y'all city, but you know what I mean. So our city, and now you're letting other people come in and buy it.
Right.
You're allowing that. You know what I mean. You can't now when that happens, you can't blame gentrification.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Right.
not allowing it. Grandma and grandpa lived there. This scenario happens all the time. Grandma and grandpa lived there. Grandpa fell sick and got ill. He can't cut the grass and none of that anymore. But the house is well maintained. Retired from Ford, got his pension, put a new roof on it. House is immaculate, just not updated, right? And you go over and talk to them, and they say they want to sell the house. They have no clue. They never looked at property values, and they like, wow, I can get $270,000 for this house.
Mm-hmm.
Or they say, well, my neighbor want to buy it. If I ever sell, well, how much did your neighbor offer? My neighbor was gonna offer me $150 for it. And you say, okay, well, I'm just letting you know you could sell it for $150, but the market value is $270. You choose to do what you want to do. I'll just help you do either way, right? What you think they're gonna say?
I mean, they should.
They're $270,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They retired, so I don't see the bad in that.
No,
But people would say, oh, they sold out to this or they selling to.
But I do think
But-
we have to make sure that when we're having this conversation, sometimes those houses are very outdated, or the maintenance that a lot of deferred maintenance.
Right.
So you have people that are coming in and they're putting, $50,000 to $100,000 in these properties, and they're making them beautiful. It's the whole
Right.
thing. Like, wish I could be like, I ain't doing HGTV, but you got people that they coming in and they're replacing like the handrails and putting in all the new updated stuff. They're doing the backing boards or whatever it's called. You know what I'm saying? But they're doing all the like cool things to the house. They're taking out, they're adding square footage,
Right.
they're adding amenities like additional bathrooms.
New
They're
windows.
knocking down walls.
Right.
Like in a lot of instances, like the one that you sold in particular, that was a complete remodel.
Right.
So
that was a nice. that was
yeah,
nice.
like you come in, you're getting real hardwood floors. You're getting the two. It's like I took my clients out today and I showed them a property in that high price range, off Woodward over there somewhere, and they're like, not for this, and I'm like, it's like over 2,500 square feet. You got 4 large,
What were
like,
in what?
very large bedrooms. You got like 3 full baths.
Right.
You have 2 half baths. You got a 2-car garage. You have a den, and
Oh.
someone came in here and opened the kitchen up
Oh, right.
and put in all new cabinets,
Right.
and you're like, not for this. Like, what?
So here's the thing. People that's buying in the area. So let's say you in the market to buy. A lot of people, and this is the problem we have with our people that already live here, see things different because we get stuck on the past. I remember going I almost got shot over there when I was off of Linwood and back, you know what I'm saying, back in 89, right? So in your mind, you're still seeing that area as what it was. You can't see past that. Even though the houses look better, you can't see past whatever your history was in these different neighborhoods. So you like, man, I'm not paying $300,000 for that. You know what I'm saying?
So that's my point. So
Right.
my point is, all right, you have options. So what we're seeing is a lot of those people are trying to sell their house for the 270.
Yeah.
Go spend 270 or spend the difference somewhere else. They about to
And
go get
somewhere else,
another $300,000 mortgage in the suburbs.
Right.
They missing the point.
Right.
So you're moving to the suburbs and people from the suburbs moving into the city. Why?
Right.
So
Because
those are
of
the people
the
I'm talking
amenities,
about.
right.
You're gonna, and then so those other people that y'all talk. Oh yeah, real quick. So when Janita mentioned the HGTV, we're not talking about on the repairs. We're talking about on things like that she wants to do, like colorful cabinets,
Yeah.
light fixtures, and all that
Design
stuff.
and
Yeah,
decoration
I'm not
stuff
doing
like
all that, but you're gonna get a really nice rehab.
Right.
But people, so I'm saying there's another option. The other option is instead of you about to sell that house and go spend the same amount of money, you're gonna get another mortgage, but now you got the down payment, right? From the
Right.
difference that you had in your previous mortgage and what you sold it for. Go get an equity line of credit and rehab your house,
Yeah.
Yep.
right?
But
So
yeah, go ahead.
So you get what I'm saying? So I'm
Yeah.
saying those are the people I'm talking about, and those are the people that are they gonna regret that at some point.
True.
I'm new to Detroit, right? So
Right.
if I would have ever, like, if I'm from, y'all from that city,
Right.
and Janita especially, she really has always. She a big Detroit person, right?
Right.
So when I first came over there, we was first in Grandmont, then Rosedale, and now Bagley, and wherever we're at, right? Boston Edison, wherever you're at, if I would have known, if I would have been from Detroit, then my
Right.
mentality would have been totally different. I wouldn't have been selling nothing,
Right.
right? I would have held everything that I could have held.
But think about Pontiac, right?
Mhm.
Is it any areas that's improved in Pontiac?
Mhm.
And you like, man, I would have never thought
The
to
whole
pay
city,
that over
Pontiac is very similar, especially now that
Right.
they got Amazon down there, UWM, all that. That's
But
happening
yeah,
the same
You know
way.
what's
Your-
mind blowing
your
about
view-
Pontiac though? I'm sorry.
What's
The lack of having to do the rehab, like you can put a shack up. I'm sorry, and you may not agree, but I've seen this.
Right.
You can put a shack up, and people be like, "I need like it be multiple offers."
Yeah.
People coming off the woodworks, and I'm amazed.
But it's because it's in Oakland County. But yeah, so
Yeah.
and there are a lot of amenities there. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Jobs and all that different things.
Yeah, but
Coming up to the city.
the point I'm making is the same way you view the psychology behind it, the way you view Pontiac is the way people in Detroit view Detroit. Because you probably never thought you would see some of them prices in some of them areas.
Well, I always did. So I always said that Pontiac was like the hidden gem
right.
because of everything.
And
that
we
it
always
had.
said that about Detroit.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I ever said that, but I just want people to get over the PTSD. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it is.
Yeah, like we need to get over it. Like I understand why I'm not there. Sometimes I feel like it's a lost opportunity because I made the decision and it was based around my sons when I moved. However, I have extended my opportunity by moving just in like land and things like that because there's some things that you can't get in a city.
Right.
And so my opportunity has, changed direction or trajectory or whatever. But I still love Detroit, and I think that if people can, because that was one of the conversations I had with my clients today. I said, Mark, look at where you are. You're you're like, this is actually an opportunity.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Big opportunity.
So, and a lot of people, it just kind of goes right over your head, and then like Shaka said, all of us that's like, oh, who's gonna pay that? It's like actual physical data
Yeah.
Yeah.
that shows the sales, and they're constantly turning over, and more is coming on the market. Developers are getting these houses, and they're deciding to keep them and do the rehabs themselves because they know if they put those dollars into the property, somebody's going to want to move their family into this space.
Right. But they know, but the general public don't always know. And the average person, the average homeowner, or the average consumer are basing all their decisions on what they want right now. So like if I live let's say I live on San Juan and I've been living there past 10 or 15 years, and I may have had some issues, or it may have just been a decent time for me, right? If for some reason I feel like I have a need to move to a Canton or a Farmington or whatever, or that's where I always wanted to be, and I see an opportunity to do it, maybe it's the school systems or whatever, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So you can't sell me on staying here, because sometimes money is not always the motivator.
Right. But what I'm saying is but that's for people who, so yeah, if you genuinely want to make a move, a lot of people want to do that. Some people want to go from Michigan to Illinois, but it's for the people that's living, that's think you're going to so some of the areas that you described are affluent areas.
Yeah.
Places that people are trying to get to for different reasons. Maybe it's newer construction. The school system, the square footage is laid out a little differently. Maybe some people don't like old. Like Shaka don't like old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, for those reasons you move. But I'm talking about the person who may be staying in some of the other cities that are not as great. The schools are not as great. And then they're probably living in 1,000 square feet, wishing they had more room. They're probably paying a little bit more. They probably could have some of the amenities, but they won't even look at Detroit because they're just so it's bad and it's not worth it.
I'm not talking about them people. I'm talking about the people that's already there. And if you have the information now, so it's just like this dude that commented on ours. He said, so what's the comparable looking like? Good luck on that price. Definitely a beautiful upgraded house. Hope you get back what you put into it. You responded back to him, looking good, pricing is based on comps. But so those type of people right there, you have to think, you have to be forward thinking, and you have to think about money.
Right.
Because that's the world we live in, right?
Right.
You don't sell your asset. All right, if you want to move, refi the house, rehab the house, rent the house out, and move.
Not with them new landlord laws.
No, yeah. No. Move, but keep your asset that's going to appreciate, because them other assets not about to appreciate the same.
But you're thinking above the average person. The average person don't think like that.
No, that we supposed to.
But I'm saying we didn't used to, but we have information now.
Yeah, but so those are the people that'll be upset or mad that they didn't keep the property.
Yeah.
Right. So, my thing is somebody like that made the comment. I hear it all the time, or they want that much for the house. They want too much for these houses. I'm like, but you live in the house next door. Yeah. You own it.
Right.
Don't you want them to want more for the property?
That's going to help you out.
That's the one I don't get.
Yeah.
You've been living here for years. You're getting a reward of property values.
Mm-hmm.
Your home is supposed to increase in value. So
yeah, one of the owners at one of the listings that I have right now, he sold the investor the house so he could fix it up so that when they get ready to sell their primary, which is right next door, it'll be worth more.
Exactly, it's smart.
I was cracking up when he told me. He was like, "Yeah, I sold him that house, and when y'all sell that one, then we gonna sell this one." I was like, "Okay."
That's technically what Mark did. Mark, when he brought Webb in '98, and for $28,000 or something, and after probably about the 5th or 6th year, every year he was buying another house on the block from tax sale, people losing their house, or just somebody on the block selling the house for $10,000, $15,000. And then we was like, man, houses over here $60,000, $70,000. We was geeked.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll sell one. Then the next year he'll sell one. Then he was like, you think I can get $150 for my house? I was like, yeah, put it on the market, pulled it off. Then we sold it for $250 last year. But each year he was selling the house, and then the other houses around it was going up. And then next thing you know, he sold it for $250. So it's some people just have, I don't know, that wasn't intentional, but it just happened that way.
Mm-hmm.
But some people know to actually do that. This is my strategy. I know it's gonna pay off, so I'm gonna buy every house I can
Yeah.
in the area. And I'm gonna be the reason the values start going up, or I'm gonna contribute to the values going up.
So that's my point. We may not have had that information before, right?
Right.
But we now know. So just like when I came into the city, I didn't know nothing about these areas.
Right.
None of them, I cared about none of them. They all the same to me, right? It's Detroit, right? But
That's how people be getting burnt in Detroit. It's all the same.
No, that's how you don't get burnt. Because I ain't sitting around there being comfortable.
No, I'm
because
saying
somebody talking about this Sherwood or something. No, everywhere in here is like my head.
No,
on
I'm
swivel.
saying people would get
Not robbed.
people would
Oh.
get
Oh,
no, some people would get an area and it'd be like in 48203.
all right.
And they'd be like, oh, here's the comps, and they be
yeah.
Palmer Woods
Yeah.
comps.
Yeah.
Like,
Because they see it all the
Yeah.
time. We're like you on Hollywood.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
it's so funny. As a realtor, when we get the requests to this is where I want to be at, and they want me to search by zip code, I'll be like, you really don't. Can you just tell me what
Like
area?
the neighborhood. Yeah.
No, you kind of got to know. I mean, that's kind of why you need a realtor that's from the city or knows the city really
Right.
good, right? But now we know though. I'm just saying we have information. You got to use that information. We know that the city is now where the money and the wealth is transferring to.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention to that. If you don't at this point, then you like that lady that's on that thing complaining after rent by you.
Look,
Right.
When interest rates was low as they ever was
Right.
before, and they had all this down payment assistance and MISTA and everything else that you can get to help you buy a house, and you still didn't
Yeah.
put yourself in a position to buy a house.
Right.
That's on you now.
That's I wanted to bring her back up for this episode too, because not necessarily because I don't know the woman or that person's situation, but in general, when we're talking about the rent going up, some people may be able to control their narrative a little bit more than what they think that they can. Like if you have the quality, and I'm not saying that finding your home
Right.
to buy is going to be like easy. You definitely have to do your searches and have patience with it. But if you are employed and you have decent credit, and I ain't saying perfect credit because you don't have to have perfect credit. That's what to buy a house.
Right.
And then you don't have to worry about a landlord wanting to sell their asset when they ready.
Well,
What happened there?
it's really what it is. It was a cry for help. So she was paying 600. I ain't like to rent them out. She was paying $666. I don't know what evil landlord would do that, but $666. Then when the landlord sold the home because they wanted to make a profit after 5 years, some landlords don't let you stay there 5 years before they sell. As soon as the property value, they sell them. But anyway, she was there 5 years. She said it was her home, and then when she went out looking, rents was what, $1,400 or something, or whatever.
13. Yeah, she was double.
Yeah, it was double what she was paying, but it was just like within that 5-year period, even though we could say, okay, there were programs out there she could have, in 5 years, you can actually get yourself together to buy a house.
Definitely.
Period. In 5 years, you can accomplish a whole lot. But the reason that sometimes the government overstep their boundaries for helping people is because you create what we talked about, entitlement, right? Mm-hmm. In her mindset, and I'm not saying this the way she's thinking, but subconsciously, sometimes you are. You allowed me to stay here. You took care of me. You helped pay my rent, subsidize it or whatever. And then now that the rents are here, where are you?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why she's saying the government needs to do something. Because y'all were there when I was paying $666 and this and that, and y'all kept the landlord in check. But now that the landlord sell the property, because maybe he don't want to meet y'all requirements no more, now I have to pay $1,400 or whatever. Where's the help that I need? Mm-hmm. So sometimes you can get too much and too many incentives to keep you asleep, and then reality will wake you up, and that help is no longer there.
I like that.
So we have to find. Yeah, I'm kind of smart sometimes. So we have to find ways to get to people to say, hey, I know you're getting this and it's comfortable, but reality is gonna wake you up. So yeah, you're gonna wake up one day and your $40,000 home that you either own or your landlord brought is gonna be worth $285,000. As a homeowner, you got a decision to make. Do you stay here and be happy, or do you sell it and have $200,000 in your pocket, and now you can change somebody's life for $200,000, or your landlord gonna be selling soon, right? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So people have to be more forward thinking, but somehow the information got to get to them to change their mindset.
Excuses right there, because I feel like they have the information now. The information is here.
Well,
everybody talking about buying houses.
Yeah,
It was a fad for a minute. That's what happened. You know what I mean?
And it's like, but right now in America, if you're paying less than $1,000 a month for a single family home, I don't care how bad the neighborhood is, I don't know what it look like, you have to expect within the next several years that's not going to be the case. That's just the reality of it.
So I looked up some of the average rent in Michigan right now. The average rent in Detroit is $1,200.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, what?
And it should
the average rent. Yeah, but I'm saying if you paying $1,200, you mean to tell me you ain't gonna buy a house? What?
You getting the average house for rent in Detroit is probably over 1,000 square feet, right? Would you agree? 3 bedrooms. Some of them have garages, and you have a yard. We don't even understand how lucky we is. When you go to other places, unless you go down south somewhere, people don't have yards. Or when you go to some places that's where
don't have square footage.
Yeah, where it's warm at, it's way more expensive, and you have such a little space. It's just like, I don't know what
they
people
can't even drive
expect.
cars because I don't have nowhere to put them.
Right, for real.
Like, but so I want to talk just to reel it in a little bit, and before we wrap it up. So, who are we saying the people are that are doing the complaining?
To me, the people that are complaining are the people that's ignoring all the information out here.
I think it's the people that missed out on buying those homes at the prices they were comfortable with. But even then, they said it was too high because they was comparing it to the market crash. Oh, we was just buying them. My cousin bought that house for $15,000, and when it was $80,000, they was like, "That's too high." And now it's $280,000. I ain't gonna pay that for that.
They ignored the information. Those are the same people. They ignored what's going on. They ignored everybody on Facebook talking about how much they just sold a house for, or just closed or just bought a house. Everybody talking about closing, another closing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you closing too. You know what I mean? Like Oprah.
Right.
But not,
I think it's the people that have PTSD. You know, they was here, through the crack epidemic in the 80s and lived through the 90s and made it through the recession, and they just over it. Some of them.
But even like right now, we're buying in areas that we bought in an area where I'm like, oh no, but because I bought a house in that area in 2013.
You talking about the one we just got?
About Littlefield.
Oh.
So Littlefield is not that.
We did just get 2.
Cheyenne.
We just got 2.
The cheapest house in Bagley needs.
Let's talk about Littlefield for a second before we go.
No, go ahead.
Because I want to know what you think.
All right. The cheapest house in Bagley you can get, it needs rehab. It's a 2-bedroom. It's $44,900. But keep in mind it needs rehab.
How many square feet?
Right. That's only 786 square feet. Right. Probably a real rare house.
Is it rich? Clearly.
Yeah, probably so. The cheapest Bagley 2-bedroom that's livable is $150. Right. 1,400 square feet. But the most expensive house in Bagley right now is $289,900, 2,500 square feet. So you
mean for sale right now?
Yeah, for sale. That's active. So people got choices.
How many?
2,500 square feet. That's active. Now, if I go in Bagley and look at what sold in the past 180 days, and we look at the cheapest home that sold was $65,000. That was most likely a rehab, 3-bedroom, 1,300 square feet. And the highest sale in Bagley was $357,500, 5-bedroom, 3,100 square feet. Probably a conversion.
So that 3-bedroom, 1,300 square foot is probably going to appraise at $230,000. easy, right?
The
And-
highest actual
60?
single family that wasn't a conversion was in Ohio for 320. So
A
You
conversion.
gotta look at the one on
That's
Santa
all.
Barbara. It's sold. So if you do like a half a mile of do 19,372.
He going the
I did
highest.
a map. Yeah, I
He
just
going
did
high.
a map.
Hmm?
No, I
But
did a
you should
map. I
count up.
drew a map around it, unless I'm missing something.
Santa Barbara not the
Santa
highest
Barbara
though.
going toward.
I got Livernois to Wyoming.
Go to Outer Drive, because that's still back.
Oh, God.
It's sold already.
Yeah,
I
When
don't
did
know
it sell?
Yeah, it ain't the highest. If it's did it sell for more than 280?
they sure did.
Oh, Santa Barbara sell for more than 280. I ain't see it.
This pissed me off so bad. I was on the phone with Shaka and I screamed. I swear.
What, South
I was gonna put an offer in on it, and but
This Santa Barbara?
no, it's
Santa
gonna be in the
Rosa?
300.
Oh,
That's why I told you to do a
I probably have to go back then. But anyway, tell me about the other property you was talking about.
So he's talking about the one that we just got on Littlefield,
Okay.
and I'm basically just like, I know, like I don't. This one of them situations where it's like I can't, like I'm seeing it because the writing
Right.
is on the wall. So what's happening up at So when you go up Outer Drive, right, and then it turns into Vassar.
Right.
It's right off the corner of Vassar.
Yeah.
So you got Outer Drive and Vassar.
That's going to have the Bagley spillover.
Mhm. At some point.
Yeah.
No, it already does. So because what's happening is that's east of Meyer
Right.
and Schaefer. And so when the map kind of changes. So you still have, so now what's happening is you got all these 240 cells. You got like 3 or 4 240 cells at like Griggs and Washburn.
Right.
So what I'm explaining to Shaki is like, this is Littlefield.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you got, it's not like at some point we're here, like we have arrived.
No, we ain't at 240 though.
We may not be at the 240, but I'm just saying.
What's the address?
We had
Type
to-
it in.
We'll tell you. Go ahead. Tell me.
Just type it right here.
The one that I'm talking about, it's not gonna come up right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway.
But yeah, but I wanted you to see that. But we'll look at it off camera. I think that the point in this was
We going to
just
put it
to,
on deal or no deal?
It's already deal. It's already bought.
well, we can still.
I mean, we got before.
But anyway.
No, don't close it out. Why you close it all the way down?
Because all right. So look. So basically, when y'all looking at areas where they are investing or buying, sometimes y'all got to look at the spillover
Mhm.
areas.
That's what you should
So,
look at right now.
Yeah.
That's what
So-
you buy low.
So Sherwood and University, then that spillover is Bagley. Bagley spills over Fitzgerald. You got to look at them borderline neighborhoods
Mhm.
where you're getting similar type of homes, but they're priced less. And eventually that spillover happens because we seen it happen from Royal Oak to Ferndale, then Ferndale to Hazel Park. All of that was spillover from the neighboring
Mhm.
city or the neighboring neighborhood. So yep.
And now it's doing it in Detroit, like you just said. So
Yeah.
is that what subdivision is Liverpool in?
That's a wrap.
All right. Well,